Hey, what's up? It's Jack, and today I'm just going to walk you through my 25-second blindfolded solve where I couldn't see the backside. I thought it'd be an interesting solve to cover because it might give some insight into the way I think and how this restriction limited me as an advanced solver. So starting off with corners, this might surprise you if you don't know about how advanced blind solvers memorize, but my corners were pretty much unaffected. So I covered like the backside because that was like the easiest for me. Because for corners, I already don't look at the backside anyway. Like I can recognize all corners by using just two colors. So for example, this corner here, I know this color is white without looking at it. So oh my god, I know this color is yellow without looking at it. Clearly, it didn't work just then. Maybe it's because I was trying to do that out of context. I don't know. Wow, I'm a bad example. But yeah, if you look at this corner, for instance, now, notice how the colors are like swapped around. So blue and orange. So this is white. Yeah. Due to a lot of training, I can tell without looking at the backside. I failed then for some reason. I probably have to do it in the context of the solve for it to come naturally. Pretty sure that's blue. Yeah, okay. So walking through, buffer is UFR, so FW, flower. I know that's a buffer. I think I kind of saw this corner, which was the only other alternative anyway. Plus, I have two color recognition, so it doesn't matter. New buffer here. Oh, FW. I think like flower from like Undertale. B, J, so budge. Budging, I just think like sort of nudging for some reason, even though I think they're different words. N, I just kind of think N, sort of in a vague sense. And I see these two corner twists, and they're generally facing like that way. And it kind of looks like, a certain OLL as well. So I just kind of think that in a visual sense. Going to edges now, LJ, so lidge, BY, so bay. And I knew this had to go to here because I already went through these three blue edge pieces. EB, ep. I'm pretending this is the buffer piece because I parody during corners. And you're looking down here. I believe I started a new cycle here. So OG, OG. So it's kind of fortunate that like the one piece I couldn't tell. So for edges, edges were much harder for me because like I can't use the same technique I use for corners. I used to kind of have to just kind of trial and error to hope I get like the correct cycle like on the first few tries because I was gunning for a sub 30 for this challenge. So edges were much more of a pain. Like pretty much all my DNFs were like on edges pretty much because corners were pretty much like the same thing as like normal solving for me. Yeah, so anyway, OG, OG, and N, I think I went NW like when I was trying to figure out like how things went, but I think I realized that didn't really work because if it was, for example, NWV, that'd be like an odd number of edge targets, and with the way I do parity, that's not a possibility. So I just went NV, Nave, and yeah, I think I just figured that was about it. And I kind of saw this, and I knew that since judging from my like a kind of intuitive sense of the cube, I didn't think there'd be any more cycles because yeah, it felt like I covered everything, and I saw that as well. So I kind of assumed that was a flipped edge, and I was correct. So yeah, starting the solve, LG, BY, EB, and OG, NV, and flipped edge. I believe I didn't... Actually, no, I think I broke into it, actually. Hold on, let me undo that. I feel like I probably broke into it. Yeah. FW. Same one in my 16.22. BJ. N. Probably could have done like N and it's like a comment that deals with N and a corner, like a sticker on the corner twist. That's what I usually do, but I think I was kind of playing it a bit safe because I DNF like 50 times, or not DNF specifically, but failed to get sub 30 like 50 times in a row or whatnot. And corner twist I just dealt with like that. And yeah, that was the solve. So yeah, it was an interesting challenge. Initially I tried to think of a more, I guess, analytical approach to figuring out. So corners were like pretty much unaffected, so it was mostly like a challenge for the edges. Initially tried to figure out like sort of like an analytical way to figure out which goes where, but after a while, in terms of reaching sub 30, I kind of realized it would just spam solves, rely on my intuition, and get a bit lucky, like in this case, where I think I only had like one like mistake when trying to figure out the correct cycle, where I went from like N to W instead of N to V. So yeah, I feel like technically it's possible to do this because someone commented, can you do it like without the D and B side instead of just like one side? I think it's technically possible. That would elevate corners to a similar difficulty of what edges was in this case. Edges would be much more of a pain though, and I'd have to like do that like guessing thing a bit more and do a lot more solves, which I can't really be bothered doing. But I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it gives you an insight on how I memorize. Once again, I had to rely a lot on like kind of that intuition thing. Like I don't really think much about like figuring out stuff. I know it sounds really like washy, but like from doing a lot of solves, I kind of gain an intuition and stuff like detecting that like edge flip at the back without much thinking. Yeah, this comes down to a lot of solves, I guess. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.